Good morning and welcome to Morning Meditations. We're on Psalm 85 and we're going to look at verse 4. Turn us, O God of our salvation, and cause thine anger toward us to cease. Wilt thou be angry with us forever? Wilt thou draw out thy anger to all generations? Wilt thou not revive us again, that thy people may rejoice in thee? Show us thy mercy, O Lord, and grant unto us thy salvation. And obviously that's the children of Israel, and God speaking to them about experiencing national revival. There have been times of national revival here in America, and boy, we need national revival again. But what are the keys to that? I see a few keys to national revival in Psalm chapter 85, and it starts with the prayer for revival. If you look at Daniel, he confessed the sins of his nation and prayed for revival. Several of the Old Testament, New Testament prophets confessed the national sins, personal sins. Gypsy Smith said the way to have revival is draw a chalk circle, step in it, and pray for revival inside that circle. And once revival starts there, it'll start other places. Recently, I've heard pastors and preachers say that they believe America's beyond revival. I don't believe that this morning. Nothing's beyond God's power, God's grace, God's strength. If you go back and read the great preachers of the past and study them, many of them thought America was in a place where there could be no revival, but yet there was. I believe we're going to experience great revival, but we're going to if we follow God's plan, first of all, for prayer. Pray for revival. I've challenged our church, and I'll challenge everybody with these devotions. Spend 10 minutes a day praying for this election. You say, that's not much. No, it's not. But if you have 10 people praying 10 minutes, that's 100 minutes a day for revival. That is a lot of prayer. Second of all, we see God's power for revival. The Bible tells us in many passages, with God, nothing is impossible. And so I'm going to trust God and take Him at His word, and nothing's impossible for Him. Also see God's plan for revival. And if we read the Great Commission, He said, go into all the world, not when things are easy. Even with COVID-19 and restrictions, we're still outdoor knocking, running our van routes and bus routes and soul winning, and we're not going to stop working God's plan just because of a disease. We're going to be careful. We want to be safe, but we're going to pursue God's plan. Last of all, the reason I believe we're missing revival in America is because of God's priority. So many churches today, so many ministries today, their priorities on let's take care of what we have, let's grow our little area here, let's make sure we take care of our programs. No, God's program is far more important than our own, and we're going to have to put a priority on what God puts a priority on. And last of all, we see God's purpose. Jesus said in Luke, I've come to seek and to save that which is lost. God's purpose. Psalm 85 lays out a wonderful, wonderful plan to see revival. Will you pray with me that we'll see revival not only in our local churches, but in our nation and around the world? Where sin abounded, grace did much more abound. Pray for God's blessing, and that you'll have a good day today. Thank you very much.